Thanks for listening. This is Brian Hurley from Business Performance Improvement. The podcast Lean Six Sigma Bursts are short lessons, comments, Q&A, and insights. If you have a question, send your question through the Anchor app, and we might feature you on a future episode. Or contact me at biz-pi.com. I like to find applications of Lean and Six Sigma in non-traditional places, and one of the ones I found really interesting was releasing and publishing a book in small batches versus releasing it all at once, like the traditional book publishing. I think it was Mark Graban who first put out a book through this organization called LeanPub.com. And the idea is that you can publish a chapter at a time instead of waiting till the entire book is complete. What this does is it kind of follows the lean startup method of putting out something to get feedback and then making adjustments, edits, changes to it over time and making it better. I think the idea of a book can be daunting for a lot of people. So this concept that I could just put together a framework or an outline and release it and get feedback on it seemed really interesting to me. So one idea I had was to put together a little book that would be a short read that people could read about my thoughts and ideas around Lean Six Sigma and sustainability and just my journey through just a traditional corporate process improvement person to what I'm doing right now. And I like this idea that I could find a way to publish the book and have it quickly published in different formats and also be able to kind of work on it on the fly. So that first round was really just to get familiar with the platform. What I really wanted to do is use this for my concept around the Lean Six Sigma for Good book series, where I would get different people who would write a chapter. And I knew that if I waited till everybody finished their chapter, it would take a much longer time. Whereas if I could get just one person to give me a chapter and we can get it published, I could release the book. And then a second person writes a chapter, I can release it after they finish, and so forth. So that was the approach I took for the volume 1 of that book. And I'll link to the free book I have plus the volume 1. And I think it's really interesting to kind of think about book publishing as this big batch and then to look at ways to, or partway through volume 2, make that not so daunting. And I think this approach is really interesting. So they call it lean publishing. So the definition on the site, it says that lean publishing is the act of publishing an in-process book using lightweight tools and many iterations to get reader feedback, pivot until you have the right book, and build traction once you do. So definitely aligns with a lean startup approach. So if you're interested in putting together a book or writing a book, I definitely would check out leanpub.com. It's free to use the platform. I think it's free to release the book. I think if you charge something for your books, then there's a certain percentage that's taken off, but a lot of the money would go directly to you instead of to maybe publishing companies, the traditional ones. So I highly recommend you check it out, especially if you want to try out a different way of writing a book. And maybe that will allow you to get started quickly with maybe an outline or a first chapter and get some feedback, and then you can make changes. Also, the nice thing is if you do have a problem where there's a typo or edit that needs to be made, then it's easy to go in there and make the edit and then re-release a new chapter or a new update. If you want to publish at some point a hard copy or paperback version, then that's easy to do as well. You can download it into the right format and it'll create that template for you, and then you can upload it into a publishing option like through Amazon or another book publishing company. Another aspect of the platform I like is that you can modify the pricing. When you're first starting off and you just have a light draft or an outline, you can charge a very low cost. And then people could buy into that concept to show support for your book idea. And then as you get further along and you get more revisions and it gets more refined, you can continue to increase the price up to the point where you get the final version released, and then you can charge the full price. The nice benefit for those who jump in early to show support is that they get all those updates included with their low cost in the beginning. So it really encourages people to jump in on a project while it's still in the early phases and provide feedback or get more involved in the book writing process with you. So I think that element is also very interesting to try out. For the first book I did, I actually made that one free. The other ones have a price, and so as we added each chapter, I would bump the price up a little bit for each new chapter. But anyone who bought at the early stage would get all the new chapters for free. So I think that's another cool aspect of the platform. So check that out, and if you want some help or questions with putting together a book on that platform, feel free to reach out and let me know that you're interested in it and if I can answer any questions. Lean6SigmaDefinition.com has a list of glossary items about popular process improvement terms, along with the history of Lean and Six Sigma methods, and key influencers like Dr. Edward Stemming, Henry Ford, Taiichi Ohno, Shigeo Shingo, and many more. You can also learn how to access affordable Lean and Six Sigma training and certification. Visit Lean6SigmaDefinition.com.